God damn it. Alrighty, yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to the rise and fall of Machinima. Oh, this gonna be a lovely hate watch. A lovely hate watch, because I hate these niggas, bro. I hate these niggas. As a matter of fact, do I have my... No, I don't. Damn it. This gonna be a lovely hate watch, though, because I don't fuck with these niggas at all. Fuck these niggas. I'll talk about my experience with Machinima at the end, but as of right now, let's get right into it.
If you were into gaming on early YouTube, then you definitely remember this logo. Back then, seeing it meant you found a banger video. Animations, series, creators you binge for hours. It honestly felt like a stamp of quality, but in actuality, it was comparable to the Bobbity curse from Dragon Ball. The company behind it, Machinima, helped build gaming content on the site, and before long would expand into a culture of its own, becoming the largest gaming channel and network on YouTube. But just as it helped build so much, it slowly began tearing itself and everything it built down until it literally vanished. This is the story of how Machinima and its online empire were completely destroyed. Before we talk about the brand itself, what is Machinima? To many, this was just a name of a YouTube channel, and to others, a type of animation style. Well, both are somewhat right, but there's a whole art style, community, and culture behind the word. Today, we have no clue how spoiled we are when it comes to creating 3D animations. Between AI tools, easy rotoscoping, and programs like Source Filmmaker, the barrier to entry is completely gone. But back then, consumer PCs were weaker and the tools were either too expensive or just not accessible. But like always, that didn't stop people from creating anyway. To do this, they do something simple that people have done for years without recordings. Have you ever played a game with a friend and started puppeteering the characters? You know, crouching, moving, and making them quote unquote talk for you?
And he would actually, when he was teaching me in game, he'd push the light punch button so Ken's fist was going, because that was him talking to me. Now you have to learn how to do combos. It was really funny.
We were being funny, so we actually had the characters teaching each other, you know, while I was teaching Rob how to play Street Fighter through that.
This was the basis behind the act of what was dubbed machine animation, or Machinima, and that would grow a large community behind it.
This production, by a team of animators based in New York, features 3 lumberjacks.
Larry, look at me.
He swim? No, he can't swim.
You see it in games like Super Smash Bros. Brawl and even Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi, but nothing touched Halo 3, Gary's Mod, and Second Life. 3 games that allowed for tons of characters to be present in the same instance, and the usage of more dynamic set design and camera angles due to elements such as Halo's Forge mode and recording.
Don't forget people that was making them Grand Theft Auto San Andreas and Grand Theft Auto 4 Machinimas as well.
Functions. These were my life back in the day. I used to watch these 24/7. In these games, players would create comedy skits, action-packed dramatic stories, horror skits, music videos, and more comedy skits.
Hey, Jicka-bum-bum.
Yeah, I remember Chris Move used to do these, bruh, for like the very first episode of whatever 2K he was playing. I remember for 2K12, he did a 2K11 was when he started doing them. He started doing all the he started playing all them other games on the play, adding them into the intros for his videos, and then he took it a step further at 2K12 and 2K13. I remember them days. It was good times. Good times. Good times.
What did I tell you about that? Sorry.
Yeah, many times these were comedy oriented and sometimes all were mixed up together. And to make one, all you really needed was your console or PC and some way to record. The classic Fraps, Hypercam, or capture cards like the Hauppauge and Dazzle. And if you didn't have that, people would just point a camera at the TV and call it a day. Anything to get the job done and get your idea out there. If you haven't seen it here on YouTube, you may recognize it, especially from the South Park World of Warcraft episode. This new style of storytelling would start showing up online in the year 2000, a whole 5 years before YouTube went live. So where exactly were the creations hosted? Sure, there were places to share animations and videos on the net already.
G4 TV, that's where it was at. I remember G4 TV used to have a show called Machinima, and they used to like do Halo and all this other funny ass shit. Sometimes it would get a little weird. Bro. Like, be like, Okay, y'all niggas a little too geeky. Let me go change the channel. I'll come back when y'all niggas stop being all geeky and weird and shit.
Sites like Newgrounds, Vimeo, and Dailymotion existed, but none were built for this kind of community. No, the main hub for posting machinimations would be none other than Machinima.com. It functioned like a forum where machinimators shared videos, guides, and just talked. And even if you weren't an animator, you could visit and enjoy all the free content out there. Two very popular films from the site were The Seal of Nahara, a 3-hour film released in 2000, created in the 1996 shooter Quake, that acts as a prequel to the subsequently released fan game Nahara, and Enechronox the movie, a 2.5-hour film released in 2002 in the form of 13 MPEG files on Machinima.com. Besides Machinima.com, other Machinima series would be hosted on various independent sites and video hosters, such as the ever-popular Red vs. Blue, uploaded to roosterteeth.com in 2003, shared through MPEG files for each episode, until the site you're watching right now went live. That site being YouTube, of course. In January 2006, Machinima launched its YouTube channel, bringing what it built on its website to a much larger audience. Like before, creators would submit content and Machinima would upload it. The channel would be the first time Machinima would expand its content lanes very early on, and not too long after its YouTube beginnings, it would begin posting variety gaming content. This included trailers, gaming news, commercials, gameplay, and still animations. One of those shows being the well-loved Inside Halo series, which covered Halo news. In a year, Machinima would grow to 11,000 subscribers, a small number now but a huge one back in those original years of YouTube, especially when gaming wasn't at the popularity height it is now. That same year, John Graham's Arby in Chief would premiere on Machinima's YouTube channel, spinning off from the previously uploaded comedy series, Master Chief Sucks at Games. The series would mix live-action footage of figures of Master Chief and the Arbiter, and in-game footage to make a show that started with the two simply playing Halo games.
Who doesn't got $10? I wipe my ass with $10.
That's not what I asked. I asked if you thought that the mechs were worth it.
I don't understand the difference.
I didn't think so.
Then evolve into a series with a serious overarching plot, as Machinima series tended to do back then. This made Machinima into a straight-up content machine, gaining traction with far less effort than solo creators, and it led to them becoming one of YouTube's first channels accepted into the partnership program. It was around that time when the channel would become a full multi-channel network, and one that many would look to partner with. Before YouTube made monetization widely accessible, becoming a partner and getting paid was difficult. MCNs offered a backdoor into that system. These networks
back in the good old days of YouTube, there was these companies called MCNs, and these were people you had to partner up with in order to do shit, especially if you was playing games back there, because like nowadays you can play 2K with no problems, right? Well, back in these days, you couldn't play 2K like that. Shit, you couldn't even play Rockstar. Y'all have to remember, back in these times, Rockstar forbidden any gameplay to be anybody to record gameplay of GTA until I want to say like 2011, 2012. Bro, niggas couldn't even upload fucking Grand Theft Auto gameplay. The only way you could get away with it was if you was like uploading like cheats and stuff like that and putting mods on there and stuff like that and showing off mods. That was fine. But if you tried to do like an actual walkthrough of the game, like you tried to play it from start to finish, like nah. Rockstar themselves would take your entire channel from you without question. No, I hate to say it, but there were a couple of channels that got packed up for trying to do Grand Theft Auto playthroughs and walkthroughs and shit like that. Like I said, you could get away with like playing with mods and stuff like that. You could do machinimas and stuff like that, do little comedy skits with it. But if you try to play a fucking mission, oh, it was over. Play one mission and then see if your channel will still be around the very next day. This is back when YouTube was, this is back when YouTube was like very strict and at the mercy of copyright holders.
Networks could monetize channels they deemed successful enough to join. This led many gaming channels and gamers in general to look at.
But yeah, like a lot of these MCNs though, they was ass, bro. Especially Machinima. Like I said, I'll talk about my experience at the end, but just know out of all of them, Machinima was the fucking worst, and I'll explain it.
Machinima as the MCN to partner with, and it's the reason you saw so many successful creators slap that logo on a video before it even started.
Yep.
Creators like Some Call Me Johnny, PewDiePie, Donkey, Keemstar, Captain Sparkles, Red Letter Media, DSP, Brightside, Game Theory, Sonic for Hire, Sanity Not Included.
Bruh, Uber Haxanova, The Creatures, Chris Smooth. It was a bunch of people on Machinima back then, bro. It was a bunch of people on Machinima back there, bro. You had to understand, bro. Machinima was like seeing all these creators on Machinima. It made you want to sign up with them once you started getting popping on here, and I fell for that bait too, and I highly regret doing that to this day. I don't have that problem anymore. Like I said, MCNs were pretty much disbanded at this point. Like they don't even fucking exist no more because YouTube don't even allow them no more. The partner program is basically because they have qualifications. They have set qualifications to make the partnership program. So you don't even need an MCN no more. They got rid of them. They said, nah, y'all can't do that shit no more. The only way you can do that shit now is like if you do a podcast and you get say you do a podcast and it's pretty fucking successful, and then you sign under a company. So for instance, we'll say somebody like Shannon Sharp with Club Shay Shay, that's signed under somebody else. So all the revenue that those videos on Club Shay Shay that he generate, that shit's going to the company that's pretty much sponsoring and paying for all the advertisement and shit like that. And he getting whatever's in his contract. Put it like that.
Oh yes, I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready. I'm fired. I'm pumped. I'm ready. Did I mention that I'm ready?
Wow, over weird.
And many more are some of the names of creators and shows you may be familiar with that were under that Machinima umbrella back in the day. This led Machinima to be not only the largest MCN on YouTube, but for some time, the largest channel period, which took them to new heights with collaborators and projects that were new to the site. But they didn't get there by sticking to what built them that in the first place.
You're watching WinCon 97.
Buy a mini fridge for college, get a free ice tray. Buy a PC for college, get a free Xbox 360.
You're watching WinCon 97.
Machinima's popularity explosion may have begun with the actual animation style in gaming, which at least was adjacent to it, but once they hit it big, they were the epitome of that meme of blowing up and not knowing nobody. It became clear that the channel was attempting to become what current Hot Topic is to pop culture, a mishmash of anything remotely nerdy to bring in any crowd possible. And because of the sheer volume of creators and content they pumped out, it worked. Machinima would get so big, and with that growth, the projects attached and produced by the company would only get larger. 2011's Mortal Kombat Legacy, E3 coverage and partnerships, God, I miss that so much. The Terminator Salvation tie-in series, Bite Me, which is this zombie web series that constantly references zombie games and was made in partnership with Microsoft and Capcom for the first season, Street Fighter's Assassin's Fist, the Justice League animated series, the Transformers Prime trilogy, Halo Forward Until Dawn, and more. While this was profitable for them, it ended up alienating the people who actually originally helped launch Machinima, the actual Machinimators. When the focus moved to YouTube and the general nerdsphere content, Machinima would forget about its forums and its originating website in general. Not only would this make searching for actual Machinima difficult, but you have to remember how many actual Machinimators were signed into partnerships with the channel from its earlier days. The neglect would obviously drive them to leave and go solo, but Contractual agreements would make that difficult. Machinima's partnership contract gave them ownership over everything you made after signing. Some creators managed to get out with lawyers, but others just quit entirely. It's also alleged, and I say alleged with a huge emphasis, that under many deals, contracted individuals were locked at $2 per 1,000 views. However, you aren't even truly taking that home. Even if your channel was earning more, you were still locked at $2, meaning Machinima pocketed the difference. But to be fair, this issue wasn't just a Machinima thing, but an MCN thing in general, and a reason that many fell out of favor with them. However, the way that Machinima handled it and other things were all super whack. They didn't promo you, they didn't help with production, they didn't help with growth. They just made money off of your hard work, slapped their logo on there, and profited.
Yep.
Many would report that the management just got worse, and as seen by the size of some channels that Machinima signed, it was clear that they began just throwing whoever into the affiliate program just to be the biggest MCN on there, spreading their logo even more. Looking through this thread featuring a now private video from an ex-signee gives a look into the horror stories that many have gone through with the company that you may have heard by now. Lack of communication, employees setting up meetings and not showing up, pretending to have contributed to the success of channels while having done nothing, not telling partners how much their channel actually made, locking in partners to indefinite contracts, and a lot more. If you were like me around this time the stuff started leaking, you may have also noticed that the Machinima logo was starting to disappear from creator videos. And funny enough, this bad publicity isn't what killed Machinima, though it did do unfixable damage. What would put the final nail in the coffin would be the people that made it successful in the first place. Around that time in the 2010s, YouTube would basically patch monetization, making it easier for creators to grow and easily be partnered and paid straight through the website and Google with AdSense. This was a net positive for anyone but MCNs, including Machinima. Suddenly, signing through them wasn't necessary, and since they didn't really assist with most of their partners with, well, anything, then they were left in the past by literally everyone. It was around this time that red and black M all but vanished. Bad publicity, no new partners, and suddenly, Machinima was left to its own devices, trying its hand at making in-house content and projects, none of which ever took off because no one cared about them anymore. Then suddenly in 2016, Machinima was bought out by the king of bad business decisions, Warner Bros, for an undisclosed amount. However, we do know that by then it was valued at under $100 million. Someone believed that they could revitalize Machinima for some reason, but they'd never get the chance. 2 years later, in June of 2018, WB was acquired by AT&T. Originally, they tried to make it work, deleting videos unfitting for ads, kicking out partners, and updating Machinima's logo to something much uglier. What is this? But with AT&T already having various gaming companies under its umbrella, there was honestly no need for Machinima. In 2019, the Machinima YouTube channel began going blank. Every video privated and deleted, as if there was never a channel at all. If you're wondering why this was, well, it's easier to just wipe the channel clean instead of working out what AT&T had the actual rights to out of years of uploads. Everyone was laid off and suddenly, Machinima was no more. Years later, many of those Machinima uploads are now lost media, with a lot of it being archived, but it just being impossible to keep literally everything the channel ever uploaded zipped up. Many of the channels have retired, but there are still a lot of ex-Machinima partners around. I won't go down the list because we already did that, but you're probably subscribed to at least one. And the actual animation style, while it was definitely influential, Machinimation is now mostly a thing of the past with a few outliers, replaced with more efficient animation styles, including the now popular Source Filmmaker animation. And that applies to Machinima as a whole, honestly. The company, not the style. Machinima was almost a necessary evil back then. We loved it while it lasted, but once the truth came out, there was honestly no saving that company. And now, Machinima exists as nothing more than a relic of a different internet and time with other contemporaries like E3, Screw Attack, and game trailers. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed me doing a more documentary style format video with this long dive into the rise and fall of Machinima. And if you
Hey man, Machinima got exactly what they fucking deserve. Now I can finally tell my story with Machinima. So when I first started gaming on my YouTube channel, like I said, I was playing games on here, but I was getting copyright notices saying that, hey, you're playing a game that's copyrighted. I was playing 2K, and for some odd reason, I was getting copyrighted by 2K Studios. Then I think I was playing The Walking Dead. I was playing a bunch of games. I was getting copyrights from the studios that was making the game. So I was like, hey, what the fuck going on here? And I looked it up, and they said, oh, you got to sign with a partner. And I really didn't want anybody to have access to my channel at that time. I was just solo dolo independent, but I did want to get paid from this. Now, this is back when YouTube didn't really like have a set, like they didn't have a set, like how your channel could be set up in order to get monetized. Back then, all you had to do was create a channel, and then you can just turn on monetization or turn on you can just turn on monetization and you're done. You feel me? You're done. That was it. That's all you had to do was just make a channel back then, and you can automatically get paid for your videos. The only problem is if you're not making gaming videos or you're not messing with music and stuff like that, and you was just uploading shit like you was just talking on a webcam and talking your shit, or you was reacting to videos and talking your shit without the copyrights, then yeah, you was gonna get paid regardless. You didn't need nobody. You get paid straight off of YouTube. But for me as a gamer, I had no choice. I had in 2014 when I pivoted from doing NBA highlight mixes to fucking 2K and video games and all this stuff. I had to sign with somebody, and I didn't know too much about these MCNs. I didn't know too much. I didn't do no research. I just went on ahead and said, hey, all my favorite YouTubers are signed to Machinima. I'm just going ahead and sign with Machinima. And what did my dumb ass do? I fucking signed with Machinima. Gave them access to my channel. And just like that, it was on and popping. It was a crappy deal. I didn't read the contract. I didn't know anything at that time. I just signed the contract blindly. Granted, I was a starving college student at that time. A naive, young, starving college student at that time. I was only 19. So I was only 19 when I first started. No, I wasn't 19. Yes, I was 19. I was 19 going on 20. And what ended up happening was I didn't read the contract. I didn't know how the splits work. I just thought that, hey, as long as I get paid, that's all that matters, right? So I'm thinking like, they probably gonna take a little bit. No, these motherfuckers were greedy. The split was fucking egregious. Now, learning what I learned later on about MCNs and learning how a lot of them, the splits were a lot better. Like, people were doing 80-20 splits, 90-10 splits, 95-5 splits, you know what I'm saying? Where you get the bigger half, they just take a little bit from you. You know what I'm saying? The Machinima, on the other hand, these niggas was egregious. These were greedy assholes, bro. These niggas was taking a 40. It was going to be a 40-60 split, with them taking the 60 and you getting the 40. Nigga. So when I started getting, you know what I'm saying, I was getting my views. I was getting anywhere between like 50 and 100 views, you know what I'm saying, per video. And I uploaded a lot. Like, y'all might think like, oh, you upload a lot. I've been doing that since I first started on YouTube. Once I first started taking YouTube more seriously, my uploading game has been, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here to flood your sub box, not I would rather flood your sub box than just put some little shits up in there. You know what I'm saying? Then just throw a little video. No, I'm the type of nigga, I'm gonna upload at least like 6 to 8 to 10 videos in your sub box. Your sub box gonna be filled up by me. I gotta compete with everybody else. I'm gonna make sure that your sub box see me, okay? you gonna see me in your sub box. That's for damn sure. I'm gonna get a bunch of videos out there, as many as I can, because that's just how I am. That's how my work ethic has been since then. So you know what I'm saying? I'm getting my little money on or whatever, and we get paid. And back then, we used to get paid on the 1st and the 15th. So you used to get paid twice. You used to get paid twice. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. We used to get paid twice. Not this, you got to reach a $100 threshold and then you get paid on the 21st. Nah, fuck that. Back then, we used to get paid twice, the 1st and the 15th. So whatever little money we made on the 1st, whatever money we made between the 15th and the 1st, that's what you get. That was sent to your PayPal account. And then whatever you got from the 1st to the 15th, that's what you got in your account. It didn't matter. It was no threshold back then. You know what I'm saying? Back then, it was just like, hey, it's how much you made. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I was making about between $25 to $30. So in a whole month, I could have $50. I could have $60. It depended, but it depended. But anyways, though, these motherfuckers were greedy. They were egregious. They would take splits. Sometimes you wouldn't get paid. There were issues with payment. Yes, there were issues with payment where sometimes you didn't get paid on the 1st. Sometimes you didn't get paid on the 15th. And I'm looking like, hey, where's my check? You know what I'm saying? I put all this work into my channel. Where's my check? And they'd be like, oh, we feel like, well, due to your low payment, we're withholding it. We're gonna give it to you on the 1st. You're gonna get a nice big fat paycheck on the 1st instead. We're just withholding. I was like, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that. Because I started looking this shit up, and they were doing some shit that you couldn't do. Like, the YouTube rules stated that no MCN was supposed to hold your money. There are no circumstances. You get paid on the 1st and the 15th. Your payment is supposed to be dispersed between the 1st and the 15th. That's the rules if you were MCN back then. Problem is, the Machinima was breaking the rules, and they was pissing a lot of people off. So there was lack of payment. There was lack of showing, putting your channel out there. You would go into these forums and you would start posting stuff, and then you will post stuff to the website and hope that it gets on the page. That way you get exposed, because that's what I was thinking that they were going to do. Because me watching Uber Haxanova, fucking Spoonerism, The Creatures, Kutra, Dan News, Gassy Mexicans, Chris Move, a whole bunch, PewDiePie, a whole bunch of niggas from like 2009 to about like 2011. They would pretty much like put you on the main Machinima channel and put your shit out there, and so that way you get more exposure. And they still had it to where you could post stuff on their website and they could put you on the main page and give you more exposure. These niggas weren't giving you exposure unless you was getting, unless your name was, unless you had about at least about 10 to 12, at least a minimum of like 10 to 15,000 subscribers. You weren't getting no burn on their main channel. And that was fucked up, because back then it didn't matter what you had. It didn't matter if you had 1,000 subscribers, 800. They would always try to boost you up, because it was a community back then. But when I got into the game, you know what I'm saying? Shit, the game done changed. The rules done changed, and it was fucked up. And like I said, I will say it was my fault. I should have looked more into it before I made that decision. I could have signed with Full Screen. I could have signed with Curse. I could have signed with, companies that was going to give me bigger splits than taking 40 and them taking 60, which is egregious, because you're not doing any of the work. I'm doing all the work. I'm uploading, I'm recording, I'm doing all the extra bullshit. All you got to do is sit back and take my money. Yeah, I'm glad that YouTube got rid of the MCNs. I'm glad that YouTube took all that shit away because the way how MCNs was going at that time, man, it was no telling, bro. It was a couple of scam artists out there. The only thing I do regret though is that I didn't sign with so let me tell you how I got out my contract. So basically in 2016, like he said, they signed with Warner Brothers. Once they signed with Warner Brothers, they weren't an MCN. So I remember going on the page, going to the support page, trying to talk to somebody about getting out of my contract. They said, "Oh, you're locked in for 2. Oh, you're locked in for 2 more years, buddy. And your contract." Actually, my contract was up. I do remember that my contract was up, and they said because you didn't do your contract, you didn't do contract negotiations a year later, which they don't tell you. You signed on for an extra 5 years. I went to my page. I took them off and said, I am no longer sponsored by, and tried to take them off my page and said, I'm no longer sponsored by them. My guess is, I guess they didn't care. They was like, you wasn't even making us that much money anyway. Fuck your channel. So let them go. So they let my channel go. All I had to do, I didn't have to go find a lawyer. I didn't have to lawyer up and try to get my way out of the contract. I just simply went to my page, went to my creator studio, whatever you want to call it. And I pretty much was like, I pretty much just took them off my channel. I pretty much deleted them off my channel, deleted their access, all that shit, made sure that they had no more access to my channel. And pretty much I was a free agent. And I ended up signing with the smaller company named Freedom. And they was giving out 70-30 splits, and they weren't like really, they didn't have like a certain, because by this point, by 2016, MCNs were like, we're no longer taking no longer taking any channel. Now you gotta have 1,000 subscribers, you gotta have 2,000 subscribers, you gotta get this many views. You gotta get this many amount of views per video now and shit. Like they were bumping up the ante and shit. It was getting spooky out here, bro. So luckily it was a small one named Freedom. They took my channel. All I had to do was just have over 100 videos and over 100 subscribers. That's all they was asking for. I met that requirement. I had like 2,000 videos and 1,000 subscribers at the time. So I met the qualifications. They put me on. They said, here you go. This is a 7-30 split. But if you bounce up to like 5,000 subscribers, we can move it up to 78. We can move it up to a 78 split. Whatever. And then if you reach like 10,000, then it turns into an 85 split. And if you hit like 100,000, then it's a 90-10 split. And then if you hit like 1 million, then shit, we only taking 1%. You get 99%. We just want 1% of it. And all we ask is that you just show us a shout out, show us some love and shout us out. And I was like, oh, okay, bet. Shit, good deal. You know what I'm saying? I went over the contract, read it thoroughly, looked at the splits, looked at it. It was an open contract too, so I could leave whenever I wanted to. It was no contract. It was an open thing. It was like I could leave whenever I wanted to. If I didn't feel like Freedom was for me, I could easily just kick them off my channel. And that's what I did. I stuck with Freedom until MCNs got pretty much banned. By the time they got like pretty much kicked off YouTube, I wasn't even on YouTube no more. So there's that. But anywho, that's just gonna about do it with this one, man. Fuck Machinima. Y'all got everything y'all deserve. Yeah. Fuck Machinima, man. Y'all got everything y'all deserve. Came y'all way, bro. Fuck y'all. Y'all did it. Y'all did it to yourselves. So, like I said, man, once they got rid of MCMs, pretty much they set the qualifications to get partnered up. That was it. But yeah, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one. I will see you all in the next video. Fuck Machinima. And yeah, deuces.